So this is a Sterling Eccles Topaz. Going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van, you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake, and we'll demonstrate this to you in person here on site. Front locker, you have your gas bottle and your gas bottle tie downs. 2 6-kilogram propane gas bottles is the maximum of gas you can carry. On the bulkhead of the caravan, you have your regulator, and then you have your reverse thread fitment gas pipe work that goes into the top of the bottle itself, and you also have your gas on and off valve on top of the bottle. On the side of the van, you have your water pump connection. Very simple to use. Blue trigger, you pull it back and you'll pull it out the side of the van. Pull the blue trigger back and you'll be able to push it into the side of the van. You then got your water pipe pickup that drops down inside the ack roll itself. On each corner of the van, you've got your wind down legs to stabilise the caravan. You will need to put these down when you're on site to stabilise it, but you'd never lift the caravan with these legs. It is only there for stabilising. It could actually damage the floor of the caravan if you lifted the caravan completely with these. You've then got your Truma flue vent on the side of the van, so essentially you need to take this cover off every time you ignite something on gas inside of the caravan, and that just sits on there and clips in at the bottom. So you'll simply push on the front of the cover and pull back at the bottom and it will release. You then have your battery box with your quick release terminals on top and your mains power lead coming to the side of the caravan. You've also got your motor move power switches in there, which will demonstrate while you're here on site. Fridge vents are simply there to allow hot air at the back of the fridge unit and to let some cool air in. And behind one of these is also a gas flue for the fridge when it is running on gas. Motor mover, as I said, will demonstrate while you're here, and the wheel nuts will torque while you're here on site, so you can see they've been torqued to the correct manufacturer's setting. You've then got your water outlets, so your fresh water that goes in the front has to come out somewhere, and you have 2 bits of grey pipe that push into the side of the van in the larger diameter holes, and they'll drop down inside the waste master itself. On the back of the van just here, put your key in and open this up, then you'll find your flush tank for the toilet system. You'll put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. In the bottom you have your toilet waste cassette, which you pull up the orange handle at the bottom and pull the cassette towards you, so that's essentially your toilet waste. The orange neck on top will turn out so you can tip the waste away, and on the cap itself there is actually a measure for the pink and blue fluid. On the back of the cassette you'll find an orange button which you press in when you're tipping the waste away so the waste doesn't spit and splatter back at you. You'll need to put in this cassette 1 litre of water and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. On the back of the van you've got your 2 wind down legs to stabilise the caravan, and again you'd never lift the caravan with these legs. Coming down the door side of the caravan, again you've got the door, motor mover and wheel nuts, which again we'll talk when you're here on site, and then you've got the storage locker for underneath the front seating area. Going inside the van now. Above the door you have your main control panel for the caravan. To turn the caravan on, you'll press and hold the power button, and as you can see the power has now come on inside. You have your button here for turning the 12-volt power inside the caravan when you're on site. If you're towing down the road, you'll actually need to put it on the 12-volt button just here for the car 12-volt, so that the fridge systems on board the caravan can operate as a cool box, and also then you can charge the battery on board the van. You have your internal lights for the caravan just here on either side of the van at the top, and then you have your water pump run on the top left hand side. The switches down this side are completely irrelevant. It's actually for a motorhome, these switches down the side, but they use the same control panel. So that's your main control panel above the door. First thing we need to do is fill the water system. So you come to every tap on board the caravan and you'll open up all up on the hot side of the water system, and as you can see at the moment there's no water coming out. We'll then come underneath the seat on the right hand side front of the caravan. Underneath this seat you will see a yellow valve next to that black box. That yellow valve to fill the water system up needs to be in the position it's in now, so parallel with the floor. If you wanted to drain the water system down, you put that valve upright pointing towards the bottom of the seat, and essentially that will drain all of the water out of the caravan onto the floor. So like I said, parallel with the floor as it is now before you fill the water system up. Once you've got it in that position, and you've got all the taps open, so that's the tap in the kitchen, tap in the bathroom, and the tap on the shower, you can then come to the control panel above the door and press the water pump button. At that point, you'll start getting water coming out of the taps on the caravan. Once you have water running continuously out of the taps, as we have now, you'll be able to turn off the hot side of the water heating on all the taps, and then you'll be able to start heating the water on board the caravan. Now, to do that, you have two different ways of doing it. In the cupboard straight in front of the door where the table's kept, you'll see the main trip switches, and below that you'll see 3 different switches. Now the two on the outside, the space heater and the battery charger, we advise you leave on at all times. However, the water heater one in the centre, you would only turn on when you have water in the system. So essentially, when I flick that switch on, the water system is going to start warming up on the electric water heater. And it will keep warming up and cut in and out as it needs to. As the water warms and as it cools down, it will actually start kicking in and out as it does need to on that system. You can also warm the water on gas. So on the water, it's actually a preset temperature, and it will not boost the water system while you are showering. You would need to use the gas as a water heating boost for showering on board the van. So on the opposite side of the van over here, we have 2 control panels, or 2 controls. The first one we're going to come to is the Ultra Store water switch just here. Now this is a gas operation for the water heater. To get the water system to come on gas, you'll need to make sure the gas bottle is turned on in the front locker. Then spin the dial spin the dial round to the flame symbol just here. Once you've done that, you'll get a green light appear. In a moment, actually, you're going to get a red light appear as well to let me know it's failed to ignite because the gas bottle is currently turned off. However, if it ignites and it is working as it should, the green light will stay lit on its own. As you can see, the red light's now appeared to let me know it's failed to ignite. But after a few seconds, if you've still got a green light there, as you would if it had ignited, you can then control the water temperature between 30 and 70 degrees of water temperature. Like I said, you will need to use this as a boost for the gas water heating. You will not be able to boost the water system just on the electric. Turn the gas supply back off to the water heater, spin it around to the off position, and that will turn the gas supply off to the heater, to the water heater. So when it says Ultra Store, think of it as a water store or water heater. Down below, you have your power switch for your heating, the electric heating on board the caravan. So not your water heating, your standard room heating. And down the side, you'll see the option of 500, 1000 or 2000. What that relates to is the amount of watts coming into the caravan. So if you're on a site with 500 watts, like we here on site, we can select 500 watts and then we can control the temperature of the heater on the dial in the centre. If you ask the site office when you arrive, they'll advise you of what you can and can't run your heating on, power-wise, for the electric side of the room heating. Essentially, whatever number is above the green light is the temperature the heater is going to warm up to. Turn the heater off, you'll put it back to the off position, just here. The heater itself, again, very simple to use. On gas, you've got the dial just here. You spin the gas dial round, put it around between 10 and 9, hold down the gas valve, and when it has ignited, you'll get a pilot light in this window down the front. It'll be around a 45-degree angle from the front of the heater that you'll see that in, so sort of 45 degrees like we are now looking down at the heater. Once it has ignited and you've got that pilot light, you'll hold down the gas valve for a further 5 to 10 seconds, then slowly release the gas valve, and you'll be able to control the temperature of the heater on gas on the dial on top. You can also use blown air heating, so a bit like the blown air system you've got in your car where it blows the air around the car. It won't work as air conditioning, however if you just leave the fan on without the heating on, it will actually just blow that little bit of cool air around the van, but like I said, it will not be air conditioning. So on this side here, on top of the heater on the left hand side, you actually have a dial and a switch at the bottom. The dial's for the fan speed, so again like you've got in your car. 5 obviously being the highest setting. The dot in the centre indicates the heat is just going to come out the front of the heater. The wave symbol is continuous blown air. So what that essentially means is, as soon as you turn that on, whether you've got the heating on or not, you're going to get air blowing out the vents around the caravan. And like I said, you could use that to blow a bit of cool air around the van when it is hot. Outside that is, rather than inside the van. The A on the right hand side is basically a thermostat, so the blown air heating kicks in and out with the thermostat on board the caravan. The fridge system, again, very simple to use. Power on the front of the fridge. At the moment, you can see we're connected to mains power, so it's selected mains power as the power source for the fridge system. You can control the temperature of the fridge on the button on the right hand side. You can change the power source if you wish to 12 volts. So that is the 12 volt mode I was talking about when we were talking about the car switch above the door. So you'd need to select the car mode above the door on the control panel, turn the fridge on, and then go to the battery symbol on the fridge, and that will allow you to work the fridge as a cool box. To get the fridge to ignite on gas, you'll press the button on the left hand side again and get the flame symbol to appear. It will self-ignite on gas again. If it fails to ignite, it will flash the blue light just here to let you know it has failed to ignite. If it does ever do that, it could just potentially mean the gas is turned off in the front locker, you've run out of gas, or you haven't got gas through the system yet. So what I advise you do is to ignite the hob just up here, and then get the gas through to there, because that is the last point on the gas system. So as you can see, it's now flashing to let me know it's failed, and it's brought up a 9 and a spanner symbol, again just to indicate that it has failed to ignite. Turn the fridge off, press and hold the power button, and the fridge will turn off. 240 electric ring on the hob itself will allow you to use 240 mains to power your hob. That will only work obviously if you've got a mains connection. The rest of the oven, grill and hob all run on gas and work the same as your household appliances. In the bathroom, very simple to use toilet system. Electric flush on top of the toilet. Toilet full indicator light, so that will actually illuminate red when you need to empty the waste cassette underneath the caravan. And at the bottom of the toilet, you have your toilet waste handle. Now you need to push this across before you use the loo, so it opens the toilet waste flap in the centre of the toilet. As it isn't like a household toilet where you have water in the bowl, you'll need to open it to allow the waste to go down while you're using it. Then when you finish, we do advise you shut it back off. You will also need to make sure that is shut when you're removing the cassette to empty it from underneath the van, as if that is open, it will not allow you to pull that cassette out from underneath the van. Toilet seat itself does turn for your convenience. It turns through 180 degrees. However, again, when you're emptying the waste cassettes from underneath the van, you need to make sure it's pointing straight towards the shower cabinet or cubicle on the other side. So that is the Sterling Eccles Topaz. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to call us here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate the business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect your caravan. Thank you for now. Bye-bye.